The news hit hard this year, and honestly, I'm not surprised by how many calls, emails, and messages I've been getting from people all over the country. Medicare Part B premiums are hitting a record high for 2026, and for a lot of Americans on a fixed income, that increase is slicing right into their Social Security cost of living raises. You can feel the frustration in people's voices. You can feel the worry. And if you're watching this, chances are you felt it too, that sinking moment when you ask yourself, why does everything keep going up except my peace of mind? Before we dive deeper, comment your name and state below. I'd love to see who's watching and benefiting from these videos. I do this to help you stay ahead of changes, not fall behind them. So let me tell you a story that perfectly captures what's going on right now. A couple days ago, I was on a call with a woman named Linda from Ohio. She's 67, retired, living on a modest Social Security check, and she said, "I finally felt like I could breathe this year because the COLA increase was supposed to give me a little more wiggle room. Then I get this letter saying my Part B premium is going up again, and suddenly that raise doesn't feel like a raise at all." I could hear the disappointment in her voice. She already budgets down to the dollar. She doesn't splurge. She doesn't take vacations. She's not buying new cars or fancy gadgets. She's just trying to live, keep the lights on, afford groceries, and make sure she can see her doctor without worrying about whether it will wipe out what's left of her monthly check. And when the Part B premium jumps to a record level, that hits people like her first, hardest, fastest. And what she said next is what really stayed with me. If my income isn't going up, why does Medicare keep going up? And honestly, a lot of you are asking that same question. So let's talk through it in a way that makes sense, not with complicated government language, not with confusing charts, but in plain, real-life English. The reason premiums are rising isn't because the system wants to hurt seniors. It's because medical costs are rising, drugs are more expensive, hospitals are charging more, and Medicare is trying to keep up. But here's the problem. When they adjust Part B premiums upward, the burden lands directly on people who already feel stretched thin. I spoke with a gentleman named Robert from Florida. Vietnam veteran. Lives by himself. He told me that when he got his 2026 Social Security letter, he felt hopeful for the first time in a long time. The raise wasn't huge, but it was something. He said it felt like an acknowledgement, like the system was finally giving him a little breathing room. And then, boom! Medicare took a bigger chunk. His raise vanished before he even got to enjoy it. He said it felt like having a bowl of soup placed in front of him, and then someone scooped half of it back out before he could take a bite. That's the emotional side. But the reality is, millions of seniors are in the same boat. Social Security increases are supposed to help you keep up with inflation, not get swallowed whole by healthcare costs. And this year, this 2026 update, is one of the biggest examples of that tug-of-war we've seen in a long time. But here's where things get more interesting. Even though Part B premiums are going up, there are changes happening on the Medicare Advantage side that could actually help people if you know what to look for and how to compare plans. One of the biggest updates I'm noticing, and it's happening quietly, without big headlines, is this expansion of dental coverage. Not basic cleanings. Not just one X-ray per year. In 2026, a lot of Medicare Advantage plans are increasing their dental benefits pretty significantly. More cleanings, more coverage for fillings, sometimes even root canals or crowns depending on the county and the insurer. You'd be shocked how many people never use the dental benefits they're eligible for because they assume Medicare doesn't cover dental at all. Traditional Medicare? It doesn't. But Medicare Advantage plans? Some of them are starting to take dental more seriously because they know dental health is connected to overall health. If you can reduce dental problems, you can reduce ER visits, infections, and even heart complications. So in a strange way, while Part B is taking more from your check, some Advantage plans are trying to give more back through expanded dental services. I talked to a couple in Texas, Mark and Elena. They said they've avoided the dentist for years because of the cost. Mark joked that he would rather deal with a headache than deal with a dentist bill. But when they saw the 2026 plan updates, they realized they could actually get 2 cleanings a year, a set of x-rays, and a couple of fillings for either a low copay or no copay at all, depending on the provider. That alone saved them hundreds of dollars, which helped offset what they were losing from the higher Part B premium. That's why I always say, don't just focus on the premium increases. Look at the entire picture. Look at what you're gaining, look at what you're losing, and look at what options you have that you might not have considered before. Medicare Advantage isn't right for everyone. Some people prefer Medicare plus a Medigap plan. Some want the flexibility of seeing any doctor. Some want predictable out-of-pocket costs. Every person's situation is different. But when Part B premiums go up, you have 2 choices. 1. Absorb the hit and hope next year is better. 2. Look for ways to rebalance your healthcare costs by finding benefits that give you more value in other areas. That's how you stay ahead of the game. That's how you don't let Medicare take over your life. A very sweet woman from Michigan told me that after seeing her Social Security increase get eaten up, she felt defeated. She said she was tired, not physically, but mentally. Tired of worrying about premiums. Tired of calling Medicare. Tired of trying to understand why every year feels like a new surprise. But what changed her mindset was when she realized she still had options. She called me back after reviewing a few plan updates and said, "I finally feel like I have control again." And that's the whole point of these videos, to help you feel empowered, not confused or overwhelmed. Now, here's something most people don't realize. When Social Security announces an increase, let's say it's 2.5%, 3%, whatever it ends up being, Part B doesn't care. The premium amount is set separately. So if you get a raise of $40 a month in Social Security, but your Part B premium goes up by $20 or $30, you don't get the full benefit of that raise. You might only see $10 extra. Sometimes less. Sometimes nothing. And people think their Social Security check is going to be higher in January because that's when the raise kicks in, but they don't realize their Medicare premium also kicks in at the same time. So they open their first check of the year expecting a little boost, and instead they start the year disappointed. That emotional roller coaster? That's what people remember. Not the numbers, not the statements, the feeling of expecting relief and instead getting stress. What makes this year especially tough is that it's being called a record high for a reason. It breaks the pattern. It sets a new benchmark. And whenever Medicare sets a new high, it rarely goes back down. That's why understanding your plan options matters more this year than usual. You can't control the Part B premium, but you can control the rest of your healthcare choices. Let me give you one more real example, because I know many of you will relate to this. A man named Tony from Arizona called me after reading his 2026 Medicare letter. He said he felt pressured, like he needed to rush into a decision. And I told him the same thing I tell all of you, never rush. Medicare decisions should be made with clarity, not panic. Take time to compare. Understand what you need and what you don't need. Look at your prescriptions, your doctors, your dental needs, your expected appointments for the year. That's how you find a plan that works in your favor, not against it. The truth is, the 2026 Medicare changes are frustrating, and some of you will feel the impact more than others. But here's the good news, you're not powerless. You're not stuck. You're not alone in this. Millions of people are going through the same thing, asking the same questions, feeling the same stress, and navigating the system the best they can. And if you're watching this video, you're already ahead of the curve because you're staying informed. Most people don't. They ignore the letters, they miss the deadlines, and they let Medicare decide for them. But you're taking action, and that's the difference. So as Part B premiums rise to a record high, as Social Security raises get swallowed, and as 2026 shakes up the Medicare landscape, remember this: you have options. You have choices. And you have people like me who genuinely want to help you understand the system instead of getting lost in it. If you want breakdowns, if you want comparisons, if you want updates, or if you just want clarity, you're in the right place. I make these videos so you feel educated, informed, and confident, not scared or frustrated. And if you haven't already, comment your name and state below. I love seeing where everyone is tuning in from. It helps me know who I'm helping and what states to focus on for future updates. Take a deep breath. You're going to be okay. There are ways to navigate this, and I'll walk through all of them with you.